Let's put politics aside for 1 minute. I don't think there is any Kenyan who is proud of how the country is doing. I'm not. Wacha tuweke siasa kando kidogo tu. Manifestos presented during campaign always underlined the sieving of corrupt leaders. I think there is no sieve. We have the perfect blend of corrupt motherfuckers in the Senate, in the Parliament, in the executive. Our problem has been corruption, looting, that has no... Kizungu imeishia hapo. Watu wawache wizi. Let's take the situation economically. Inflation ina affect nani? I affect mwizi. Ina affect wewe na mimi. Can we start reasoning like people who have brains? Oh.
When our parliament threatens to shut down because they have not been given NGCDF, I'm wondering, of all the issues they would choose as grounds enough to shut down parliament, they couldn't pick the billions of money that have been siphoned to Swiss accounts to address. They couldn't pick the audacious debt that Okiya Omtatah has petitioned the court about, and Ndindi Nyoro is talking about, in regards to illegal borrowing of debt by the previous regime and the current regime. They can't talk about that. They can't talk about the issues that residents of Nanyuki are bringing about in regards to how Batuk continues to colonize them. Our colonial masters are colonizing our citizens illegally in this country, and that cannot be a discussion in the House. They cannot talk about the illegal organ harvesting in Eldoret that is still ongoing, that has, enriched a few people. They can't even talk about the high cost of living.
I saw former budget chair, Ndindi Nyoro, becoming clever so suddenly that he now knows where the issues of our economy are. And he was talking about debt. This is the gospel that a guy called Jimmy Wanjigi has been singing. That ata muruke juu, murudi chini. Shida ya Kenya si hizi vitu zote, sijui mnaita bottom up, sijui kustop corruption, sijui governance, ngengengenge. Anasema shida ya Kenya ni hii mambo na odious debt. Shida ya Kenya ni hii debt na haitaisha. When I saw Bandi saying that the earliest Kenya inaweza stabilize ni 2036, I knew maybe this guy Jimmy has been saying something. Sasa nimeona watu, I saw a guy called Edgar Obare saying watu angalie hii debt. Nimeona watu wengi wakianza kusema wacheni tuchunguze hii debt. Sasa Ndindi Nyoro has become clever so suddenly, and he has become now a disciple of what Jimmy Wanjigi has been saying. When Jimmy Wanjigi started saying about these debt issues, my friend, people rubbished him. Wakamwambia hakuna kitu anajua, sijui ni cartel, sijui amenyimwa tender, a lot of things. But anytime Jimmy Wanjigi comes out to speak, when aliongea tu siku ya uhuru, my friend, kwake kulikuwa kumetumwa jeshi. Sijui ako na weapons. That during Uhuru's time. Now ameongea after Genz movement happened. My friend, kwake kulitumwa jeshi, hata alilala ndani. After talking, just to talk something. Anaenda tu anaongea kidogo and people realize. The other day they were in, when Mother Karua was launching the party, People's Liberation Party or something. And Jimmy told these people the same thing. He told them, you people, kutoa Ruto is just part of the problem. We have a bigger problem. And that's why even myself, I keep telling you, we will take Ruto home. That is guarantee. But a person who will come after Ruto, if you're not careful to understand where the problem is, my friend, hata mwaka moja haitaisha. Utakuwa umetolewa. Because the issue of Kenya, nilikuwa fixing the nation. Nikamwambia shida ya Kenya, hii country ni kama gari imekoma kwa matope. Na imeshika chini na diff. Unasikiaga diff. Hata msukume mufanye nini. Mnaweza haribu tu bumpers mkisukuma. Haiwezi enda. Mpaka mjue exactly shida iko wapi. And I have seen Ndindi Nyoro started saying, na anapeana parables. Sijui Shiko owns you debt 18,000, sijui 12,000, sijui 10,000, sijui unaanza kulipa wapi, sijui Kenya inabaki na pesa ngapi? Debt. We all go back to what Jimmy Wanjigi has been saying on this debt issue. We are all going back there. Hapo inakaa ndio shida iko. Because anyway, kama Dede ametoka na ameanza kuongea hizo issues, already kumbe anajua hapo ndio shida iko.
Okiya Mtata has given a breakdown of the odious debt. And the signals you are getting from the Treasury is such that they want to renegotiate for the loan repayment because default is on the horizon. Now, it is important to know that as it is today, Ruto borrows 2.5 billion per day for recurrent expenditure, not development. And this is contrary to the Constitution. The Constitution does not give him permission to borrow for use day to day. Number two, they changed the law in 2014 to allow them to open foreign accounts where they are transferring money. To date, there are money that is borrowed and never reaches this country.
See, what we are saying is, you guys, can we look beyond political alignments when trying to understand if somebody has, embezzled funds or not. And we already have an institution that guides us on this. The Auditor General's report are very clear on where gaps are lying, and especially with these governors. So atakama mtu anapiga kasongo ama apigi kasongo, angalia Auditor General's report ndio uone. Hii kitu ya kudefend mtu ati anatakiwa ati kwa sababu sijui nini. Hapana, angalia Auditor General's report and they are very clear. And especially for Kiambu County government, it's very clear what the Auditor General has highlighted. I mean, you guys, you'll be so surprised. So before hapa mkwanza kuja kudefend mtu, please. The same thing that is happening with Nyoro. I'm surprised he didn't speak of these things when he was the chair of budget, but it's okay, he's saying them now. And literally what he has said is, by the end of the year, we're going to be in a lot of financial issues if we're not auctioned by China itself.
The issue of debt is really disturbing me. Right now, we are heavily burdened with 12 trillion debt. Okay? That is debt that has been acquired in the last 12 years. Juu Kibaki aliacha debt ya 1.8 trillion. That is what he had borrowed. Ukikompare na ile Moi alikuwa ameacha yote akaacha ikiwa 2.7. Now Kibaki hiyo deni yake, we all felt the impact of his loans and his loan policies. Kibaki alichukua loan ya 1.8 trillion, ikakuja ikatengeneza mabarabara huku, ikainua economy. You remember even banks were pitching tents huko kwa barabara, kwa street, because they wanted to have a share of the growth of the economy. Ya hiyo pesa ilitoka na hiyo deni ya Kibaki. Akatupatia free education, akatengeneza mabarabara, hiyo pesa ikakuja ikastimulate the economy ika grow, aka create another middle class, a taxation bracket that did not exist. Inaitwa the middle class, wakalipa taxes, waka sustain economy. Uhuru came, he borrowed money, Na sasa, yes, Uhuru did more development than Kibaki in terms of hardware, infrastructure, mabarabara, but we do not feel the impact of his loans in terms of growing our economy. Iyo pesa, hatukuifeel sana. That is why we need to be auditing these loans. William Ruto na yeye, inherit hizi debt zote, na yeye to make it worse, he has borrowed almost like 4 trillion as we speak right now. We can't even feel the effect of that money in the economy. Kwani hizi debt zinaenda wapi? Kwani hizi pesa, what did Uhuru do differently? What is Ruto doing differently that Kibaki did not do? Because ya Kibaki ilitusaidia your loan. What is not happening? Apana, we need to audit our loans, and if we have to default on these loans, because sisi tunabebeshwa mizigo yenye haijatusaidia economically. Iyo pesa, we can't feel the effect of that loan in our pockets. So tunalipia pesa sijui iko wapi. So we need to default on those loans. Kama ni kuanguka tuanguke. Apana.